yeah, that was wild.
What about, like, you've done so much TV, like 30 Rock and Glee, and do you have a favorite, like, I mean, and I want to get to Call Me Kat in a second. Do you have a favorite, like, guest appearance or like multi-episode arc, of all these lighthearted shows, not American Horror Story, because I want to talk about that in a second too.
Yeah. Well, I was doing Damn Yankees, as you mentioned, in New York with Sean Hayes and Jane Krakowski, and Tina Fey came and saw it. And then backstage we met, and that's when she asked me if I wanted to be on 30 Rock. And that was how I got the role. She said, I have a part that I'd like to gauge your interest on 30 Rock. And I was like, okay. It was awesome. So 30 Rock is arguably the holy grail of comedy, especially workplace comedy and that kind of humor, which is my favorite. And the whip pans to like something ridiculous happening, and just the way it talks about culture and politics and nobody is safe. That is my favorite, I think. I mean, of that style, absolutely. That I've just been trying to find something as good since, because that was incredible. I learned so much from those people. Alec Baldwin is a master at that type of comedy, and he taught me so much. And most of my stuff was with him. And Jane has been my friend for years. Prior to that, Jane did the first workshops of Xanadu. So we knew each other really well before I got on 30 Rock. So yeah, I would say that. And then I've had some fun stuff recently. I loved working on The Watchmen on HBO, and I kind of got to play a vigilante superhero, but also kind of parody American Horror Story at the same time, which I thought was super meta and super cool. And yeah. And then Call Me Kat, which is just maybe my favorite job ever.
When you're backstage and then, Tina Fey comes back, do you say like, your reaction, do you say like, let me think about this, let me call my manager, let me call my agent, what are the dollars on this? Or are you just like, please stop talking, like the answer is yes, it'll be whatever?
Come on. I mean, I don't play a lot of like, oh, let's see, like I wear my heart on my sleeve and I just call it like I see it. And what you see with me is what you get, for better or for worse. I mean, I know some agents and managers kind of wish that I would play hard to get a little bit more. But you know what? I just feel like we have one life, and I try to say yes to as much as I can. I've had a lot of mentors. I love mentors. I love older actors, older artists, because they have the best stories and they have the best advice to give. And I remember Jerry Orbach, the late great Jerry Orbach, who created a million different things. And people know him from Law and Order and like the dad on Dirty Dancing, but he's a huge Broadway legend. And he was my neighbor in New York. And he said to me, try to say yes to everything if you can, because even if it's on paper, it looks kind of silly, or you never know what it's going to lead to or what it's going to do for you as an artist. And I've really tried to do that as much as I can. So bringing it back to your question, when she asked me, yeah, I mean, I wasn't like, what are the terms of this contract? I was like, yeah.
30 Rock and Tina Fey, right?
Tomorrow. Yes, done.
Well, along those lines, how did American Horror Story come to you? Was it from being on Glee? Because, up to that point, when I heard of Cheyenne Jackson, I wouldn't have thought, horror, macabre wouldn't have been what I thought.
Mm-hmm. That came from Xanadu. Xanadu, Ryan Murphy came to Xanadu, and then we spoke afterwards, and he told me about Glee. And then I auditioned for Mr. Shoe, Matt Morrison's part, and apparently got close. Matt is a buddy of mine forever. And then he wrote me onto that. I had a couple, a few episodes of that. Didn't get to sing, but just started my relationship with Ryan. And then not long after that, he said he asked me if I wanted to be on American Horror Story and be married to Lady Gaga, who I had seen in concert 5 times. So again, another one of those moments where Tina Fey or Ryan Murphy says, do you want to do this thing? You don't say, what are the stipulations? You say, yes, please.
What was it like working with Lady Gaga? Tell me everything. Having sex with
Sure.
Lady Gaga.
It was awesome. I had a lot of nervous energy going into a show like that. Like you said, I'd never done anything like that. So, but I knew how to act and I knew how to be and I knew how to create a character. So I was like, let's just go for this. Um, I was mostly nervous about meeting her just because I was such a fan of hers and I wanted to kind of get rid of that quickly so we could create our on-screen relationship. And I remember telling my husband, I was like, today's the day I meet her and I'm so nervous. He's like, just, be yourself. It's great. It's fine. So I'm in my trailer, I'm getting myself ready and I go and they said, she wants to meet you now. And I go in and I walk onto the set and she's fully in character as the Countess. And she has the blonde hair and the white eyebrows and the off the shoulder. And she, it's just fabulous. And she like put her hand out and she said, Will Drake. And I was like, oh my God, shit. Is she like fully in character? Am I supposed to be doing this too? Like I had all this panic in my head and she goes, I'm just kidding. My name's Stephanie. And she, from the very beginning, was just fucking cool. There's no other way to say it. She made no bones about being new at this and wanting to be great. And she asked, I would watch her openly just say to Kathy Bates or Sarah Paulson or anybody, like, help me if I'm not on the right spot, just whatever you can impart. And she was a sponge and she was great. And then won the Golden Globe and, now is a big movie star, not surprisingly. So it was great. And we've remained friends and she's one of our great artists, truly.
She is. Did you learn anything from her? I mean, like you said, she was new. You've been doing this forever. What did you learn from her? You're shaking your head.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, I did. The first thing that comes to mind is the freedom with your body. She is so free and so comfortable with her body, and even if she has moments of where she's not, she fakes it. And so I had never done a nude scene before. I'd never done a scene like that, and I was like, okay, here we go. And Matt Bomer was there, and like he was doing his thing, and it was very intimidating. And then I get on set with her and she's like a mom. She's just like a theater chick slash mom. She just took care of me. She took care of everybody. I wasn't even thinking about being naked. She just is like, she just makes you feel like you're going to be okay and it's going to be fine. Um, and to embrace yourself. And even if the parts of your body that you don't think are perfect, like just own it and love yourself. And I've really, really learned that from her because she was just so comfortable.
Wow. What about, I mean, do you have a favorite incarnation that you were involved in with American Horror Story? I mean, is it Hotel or I mean, Roanoke was great, Cult Apocalypse?
Mm. Uh, a lot of them for different reasons, but as far as my contribution, my favorite to do was Roanoke because I got to play such an unhinged uh, producer, and I didn't normally get to. Normally, I'm more of the solid, straight man to somebody's antics. So this time I got to be the one that amped it up, and it was really fun. I got some good juicy stuff to do, and like a one-on-one with Kathy Bates, and that was incredible. She's one of my favorite people and my favorite actresses, and yeah, that was really fun. Also, I loved what was the last? Oh, Apocalypse, um, playing the warlock. I can't remember his name now. Oh, John Henry. Because I love working with those guys who are all friends, Billy Porter and everybody. Yeah, it was BD Wong. That was really fun.
What about, you mentioned